This video by an auto collision expert shows an electric saw cutting easily through a generic or aftermarket car part, while this saw struggles to make a real dent in the brand name part. Now, at least one aftermarket part distributor questioned the fairness of the test.
Different materials, though.
Ford Motor Company took notice, and so did a lot of others. This test video went viral and added fuel to an already hot debate about the growing market of off-brand auto parts that are used to repair cars after an accident. Sometimes an insurance company will insist on aftermarket parts.
There seems to be a real lack of concern for quality and the long-term safety of these aftermarket parts, and I think that's a concern.
So Ford did its own computer-simulated crash test. The automaker compared pricier Ford parts called OEM with less expensive aftermarket equipment. Ford said the tested aftermarket parts raises red flags and may increase the risk of injury.
This is the original equipment one made by Ford Motor Company. It's made out of magnesium. This is the aftermarket version made out of plastic and some sheet metal pop riveted to it.
Ford Collision Product Marketing Manager Paul Massey says this is critical. He says how the product is made might affect the airbag sensors.
These parts play into the overall integrity of the vehicle in a collision, and they also play into the airbag safety systems.
First and foremost, Ford does not want competition. So they're going to do an awful lot of disseminating of information that will scare consumers away from anything but their own brand of parts.
Jack Gillis runs the Certified Automotive Parts Association. CAPA is a nonprofit group that tests, then certifies aftermarket parts if they meet the CAPA standard of quality.
Well, I think Ford said it very well. It might affect airbag sensors. They clearly haven't declared that they will affect airbag sensors, nor have they done the crash testing necessary to determine whether or not a part that is functionally similar to the one they make will have any impact whatsoever on the safety systems of the car.
This is the OE version. This is the aftermarket version.
Ford conducted its own saw test using an OEM part and an aftermarket part that it claims is of like kind and quality. This is the off-brand. He's able to cut it in half. The Ford part, the tester says, wore out the blade just inches in. Here, though, is where Ford and CAPA might agree. Both groups would like to see replacement auto parts meet an industry-wide standard. CAPA highlights the problem with its own video. This is a Ford Fusion bumper reinforcement taking a head-on collision in a crash test. It appears to sustain little damage. Now watch this one shatter during the same impact. This aftermarket brand is not certified by CAPA.
If they choose to use a CAPA certified part, or their insurance company chooses to use a CAPA certified part, at least you know the part has gone through comparative testing so that it will perform the same as the car company brand part.